quick little like life update and what's been going on and things like that. And with a couple upcoming changes, just want to mention that. Just do a little update video for everyone. So first, I do want to apologize if anyone's orders have gone out a little later than usual. I do try to keep on top of that as fast as I can. I just kind of had some life happen because it's Mercury Retrograde, because, of course, why not? Anyways, TLDR. I'm fine, but my car got totaled over Memorial Day weekend because I live in the city and some asshole drove their car into it and hit it hard enough to total it. So I've been having to deal with a lot of insurance stuff and, you know, buying a new car and all that. So I've gotten a little bit behind on things. It's mostly been more of an annoyance than anything else, but, you know, it just chewed up a lot of my time. And I also went out of town for a couple days because I haven't done that in like 3 years. So, and it was my birthday, so I'm allowed to go out of town for a weekend, you know. So, because after having my car totaled like 4 days before my birthday, I was like, you know, I'm definitely going to go out of town because I was kind of hemming and hawing about it. I'm like, you know, but I had a rental car. It was fine. So anyways, had a great time. So I just wanted to kind of get that part out of the way. The other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit as personal issue, I know I've talked about this and mentioned it several times in other videos. I may have even done videos on it. Don't always remember. But anyways, I just wanted to talk quickly about being ADHD. Because sometimes, and right now, I have to say, like, it's been a little bit of a struggle for me lately. I'm thankful that I do have assistants now that handle a lot of my customer service or most of my customer service for me. I'll get to that after I'm done talking about this because I'm trying to stay on point. Just because, you know, ADHD is just part of who I am and is part of my personality. I'm adjusting some medications. So with that, because I'd gone off of my medications back in October. Fun fact, I did realize I can manage my ADHD pretty well if I'm home alone and have like a lot of control over my environment. That hasn't been the case lately. And what ends up happening is when I get into those cycles of because for me, a lot of it is sensory and getting overstimulated. And like, I know because of like the stress I've been under with going with things with my car and other life things, like I've just been snapping at people a lot. Not so much, you know, like customer service stuff and things like that, because I'm letting someone else handle that, knowing. But, you know, just other things and stuff like that, just because I'm in that state of like being hyper and agitated and whatnot. And it is hard sometimes because, you know, when you have ADHD, like a lot of times you can almost like burn yourself out on the energy that you're expending because it's always so amped up. You know, and, you know, I just, like, sometimes, like, little things get to me and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm sorry if my videos are not always, you know, congruent and you're, you know, following a runaway train sometimes. But, you know, just understand that, you know, neurodivergent people can kind of process the world a little differently. And, you know, that's just kind of how I am. And, you know, because I've received rude comments and stuff like about that, like, well, could you get to the point, or you haven't said, you know, I'm like, yeah, go fuck yourself. Anyways, because yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I'm like, sorry, my ADHD is a bummer for you and annoying. Anyways, not to be an asshole about it, but you know, just chill, people. I'm doing the best I can, and I have to say, for being ADHD as fuck, I've managed to create a very successful business for myself, and to make a name for myself, and, like, I'm lucky if I can remember to feed myself sometimes. So, I'm doing the best I can, and it's not always easy, and stuff like that, and that's why I've been bringing on more help. I have 2 people who come in and help me package and label products and stuff like that, and occasionally they help me clean and organize my house, because I'm not so great at that, actually. Or I just don't have the time for it. And, you know, one of the things that, you know, kind of just to briefly touch upon is that with as fast as my business grew over the past year, I've constantly been scrambling to catch up. And that's a lot of times at the sacrifice of things like, yeah, I can't cook for myself because I have to use my kitchen as my studio space and I don't have the time. I live on Uber Eats or not Buffer. What's the other one? DoorDash. I don't have the time and wherewithal sometimes to just, make a simple meal for myself because I'm always working and I get very little time to myself where I'm not working. I'm trying to get better about that. I've literally taken off now for the whole calendar year. We're into like mid-June now. I've taken off 5 whole days. Well, technically, probably, let's call it 5. I've taken off 5 whole days this calendar year because I'm always doing something. I'm processing orders, I'm packing orders, I'm creating new things, I'm restocking stuff, I'm dealing with, marketing things, new ideas, advertising, whatever. So I'm very busy and I don't always have a lot of time outside of that. So, and that kind of brings me into the customer service part, because I do have someone who is amazing at doing a lot of my customer service. So we're trying to streamline that a lot because right now what gets hard for me to process, not only just as a business owner, but for my ADHD, is like getting customer service messages through every single platform, personal and professional, and trying to keep track of that because, my customer service person doesn't have access to my personal accounts. So like if you're messaging me on my personal Facebook or my personal Instagram, it's probably going to get lost, to be honest. Because I don't check messages that often and I get a lot of them. Because sometimes, I do use Facebook to like talk to my friends and stuff like that. But, it's not the best way to get in touch with me if it's something that's related to the business, just because I'm going to probably lose it. I'll be like, oh yeah, I saw that, it came in the middle of the night. And, by the time I look at it tomorrow, it's, 10 messages down and I've forgotten it exists. So we're working on streamlining some of that, but definitely if you do have business questions and stuff like that, definitely try to like have it go through one of the, preferably through the website contact form on belladonnasbotanicals.com. That's the best way because it's at least going to go to all one place and we'll see it. We're working on kind of integrating all of the social media stuff so that any messages that come in through there kind of go to the same place as well. It's just that also with that is I had to switch kind of social media management platforms and yay, it's more expensive to do that. But, as my business grows, it is what it is. But, we're trying to keep up with that. So, and also realize that we do get a lot of requests. It's I get messages through Etsy, I get messages through Amazon, through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, my website, YouTube sometimes and whatnot. So it isn't always easy, especially for someone with ADHD to manage all that. I get personally, because of my ADHD and I get overstimulated, because I'm always worried about forgetting something, that kind of like gets me in that kind of mode. I'm like, oh crap, I have to remember that. And then like a week later, I'm like, did I respond to that? Did you respond to that? What happened with that? So we do our best to get to everyone's questions, concerns, whatever requests and stuff like that in a timely manner. We just do get a lot of them. And, I'm one person, I can only answer so many things at so many times. And sometimes I sleep. Not going to lie, I occasionally sleep. So that's just one thing with customer service. And, we do try to get to them within a decent amount of time. Usually, because life happens sometimes, and especially because, I have customers all around the world. So it might seem like, a lot longer to you, but, if you're 6 hours ahead of me, I'm just waking up and, processing throughout my day. So it's just a matter of, we're trying to keep on top of everything. So please don't take offense if it takes a couple days for us to get back to you about something. Because we will, the other thing I wanted to talk about, and this isn't gonna affect everyone. Sorry about that pause. I moved my hip funny and now I can't move. That's awesome. I have joint issues, so sometimes I literally can't move. Anyways, so one of the things I just want to make people aware of that's coming up, I know I got notice of this through Etsy, and I'm assuming this is going to apply to all international orders outside of the United States, is that we now have to put tariff codes on international orders on the customs forms, which customs forms are always a gigantic pain in the ass because you never know what is going to, make it through or not. I get things, I get a lot of stuff shipped to me from around the world, and I get weird, my belladonna comes as tea on the customs form. I'm like, anyways, but it's a matter of, this is going to probably cause some customs and tax issues with international orders, because we have to go in and because I just usually put on the customs declaration is just like personal care gifts, which usually gets through customs. Now, one thing people you have to be aware of, like international customers should be aware of, is that, and it's different from every country, there's different like money thresholds. So if your order is above X amount of dollars, like a lot of times you're going to have to pay taxes on it. And sometimes the taxes on it might be even more than what you paid for what you bought. So, but, I don't know what Amazon's policy, I know Etsy's policy, and, most businesses' policies are, because we're not, you're responsible for any customs or issues and taxes and things like that. That's not on us. Because it's going to be different from every country. It's actually illegal for us to pay it. So, and that's why we don't collect taxes and things like that on international orders on Etsy, on our website, whatever, VAT taxes and whatnot, because there's a lot of countries in the world and they all work very differently. So just keep that in mind with international orders, that there's probably, because this goes into effect July 1st, 2021. So until we work out the kinks of how to code everything so it gets through customs, there may be some hiccups and kinks in which we send it out thinking it's perfectly normal and it comes back to us because we put the wrong code on or something like that. So, because, who knows how to code witchcraft shit, it's, it's not like lipstick or perfume or a book. It's sort of like, how do I categorize ritual oils? It's sort of like, what makes the most sense to put that under that's not going to be something that's flagged by customs or you're going to have to pay extra taxes on or whatever. So that's a whole thing. So, but yeah, that's just something that's coming up, and that is going into effect July 1st. It actually technically may be in effect now, but it's, I think July 1st is the it has to be done by that. So we're working on that. Yeah. So, just kind of wrapping this up a little bit. Sorry, things have been a little chaotic. Mercury retrograde, not a lot I can do about that. But there's a lot of other things going on in my life right now that I'm not talking about right now because they're not ready to be public knowledge yet, but there's a lot of big things on the horizon and a lot of major life decisions that I have piled on all at the same time. Amazing. Because I think I mentioned in a previous video, I'm looking at moving out of the city or moving somewhere else because I'm literally stuck in the middle of some kind of, I don't know. The crime in my area is terrible. Like, hey, my car got totaled and someone drove away without leaving the insurance information and I got stuck with that. So, great neighborhood. Love it. Because it was literally parked around the corner from my house. So I'm looking to move out of this area. So, and also in the very beginning processes of trying to find a commercial retail type space, because I cannot live this way forever, especially with the volume that I'm producing and doing in my house. Like at last look, I'm well over like 5,000 units sold for this year and pushed out the door. Actually, probably may even be getting closer to 6,000 at this point. That's a lot of stuff to produce in a house, and also to be able to produce things and have them in storage and have adequate space for that. Because it's like sometimes I would make things in bigger volume, but then I'm like, where do I put it? So, you know, it's just some of that is kind of things that are coming down the horizon, so that, you know, I'm doing my best to keep on top of everything, but I am human mostly. And, you know, at least sometimes the mail system seems to be working a little better, knock on wood. Although I say that and they haven't picked my mail up half the days this week. So, because I have all my outgoing mail picked up, which they did not pick up today. And I missed the window on going to the post office. So sorry. You know, it's also like I've been doing mail pickup for a while. It's just for whatever reason we seem to have. I'll get like a mail carrier who's really good at like remembering to pick it up every day, and then they switch to someone new, and then I have to be like, okay, have no idea what time of day they come and have to sit there, but keep the door open and then chase them down to be like, hey, by the way, you're supposed to pick up my mail every day. And now I think we're back on that. I had a guy who was really great. He'd always come, ring the doorbell, and then come back around and pick my stuff up. And awesome. But that time is over, and now we're on to training a new person. So, yeah. Anyways, hopefully I can get up from the way I moved my leg before. All right, anyways, I will talk to you guys later. I have some new exciting content coming out and projects I'm working on and all that. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Love